And we're live.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. This is the Straight Talk Network and the Straight Talk Morning Show. My name is Andre Hill, your host, and happy Saturday. We have a full panel on today, and we got some serious topics, mind-blowing topics. We're gonna get started with our elders. We got Terrence Lake, our chairman, up in Detroit. How you doing this morning, Chairman?
Grand Rising, everyone. I'm doing fine. Cold weather outside, but, you have to deal with it. But alive and well, and looking forward to some new information on that 3-eye atlas.
I thought it was warming up today and tomorrow.
Well, it might get into the 40s possibly, but I can't bet on it. It'd be nice if it does happen that way.
I understand. Also, we got our Queen Mother, Mama Kelly, up in outside the Atlanta area. How you doing, Mama Kelly? Well, hold on. She's making some adjustments. And we got our Chief, your son. Hey, what's going on, Chief?
Oh, man, peace, everybody. Peace. Just enjoying the beautiful weather outside. I feel like everything's gonna be beautiful. I saw a dolphin in the river yesterday, so I don't know the odds of that. You know what I mean? So I got a real good feeling about everything.
Hey man, that's the beauty of Florida. You can see anything, man. Yeah. Also, we got Andre Hill Jr., our Chief Justice and engineer. Hey, what's going on, man?
Everything's groovy. Everything's groovy. Hey, family, we apologize for being a few minutes late. Y'all know how it goes with these electronics sometimes, fam. But
yes.
we here, and y'all prepare, get ready for a good show.
All right, well, while Mama Kelly is making adjustments to come on, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the topics. As usual, every Friday I post the topics for today on my Facebook page, and it reads, good evening, family, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Straight Talk Network on YouTube and my Facebook page. Part 2 in the Book of Enoch. It describes a dark cloud entity. I encountered one in the 4th dimension. It was also scary. It does exist. Wow, I had a delayed response on that one. Also, there are rumors of a shakeup in the White House. Mama Kelly and I will explore the possibilities. And 3-eye atlas is in close range. And the chairman, he's going to let us know what's going on with the frequency. Are we expecting a fake alien invasion, from the demons that want to continue with this ignorance of what? So we're gonna dive into that. But first of all, I want to, because we the elders, man, we got so much we want to get off to you. And last time we didn't get a chance to hear from the young generation, so we're gonna start out with the young generation. Our tribe is growing in leaps and bounds. People are getting their status change, and we're signing people up every day. And Chief, your son, and Andre Hill Jr., these guys are processing, bringing this tribe together. It's the only option we have left. Chief, your son, tell us about what's going on, man.
Man, I mean, overwhelming traffic.
Yes, indeed.
It seems like our people are more interested in this than we are at this point. I often forget we have some skin in the game. We got some time, that we've been doing this. I forget about that excitement, that burst of excitement. And we got so many people coming in on a day-to-day basis who are bringing that same energy. They're super interested in what we got going on here. And all we've really had to do is just tell them what we're doing, and let them know everything is founded lawfully. We are not the sovereign citizen movement. We are not going against any agencies to put our community in danger. And it's almost like free marketing at this point. The marketing is doing itself. So thank you guys for the foundation, Chief Andre Sr. I speak on you very frequently because when they hear junior and then senior is right there, sold. You tell me, sold. This is a family affair, and I love it. Thank you guys so much, y'all, man. We got a lot more coming soon, I promise.
Absolutely. Also, hey, Mama Kelly, you got in. How are you this morning? And what's the weather like up in Atlanta?
Oh, I'm doing very well. The weather got a little chilly last night, but I think that it is going to be much warmer. You know, that's a good thing about Atlanta. You know, we might get a few cold days or cold nights, but it doesn't last. It will get warmer. And so that is one of the positive things about being here in Atlanta. You know, it's very nice weather right now. And these are exciting days, very, very exciting days. And thank you, my brother, for putting that little excitement in. It's very, very good, for the young people. Even this morning, I got a short, um, where there are many different native tribes actually dancing to this tune about land back. Different native tribes, the Polynesian islands, also, they look like Filipinos to me as well. So, hey, there is a land back movement. I know it's big in Australia right now.
Uh,
Hmm.
all right. So, hey, Junior, what's going on, man? You signing people up with the nation, like.
Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy. And Chief Yes son he spoke perfectly on the matter. Heavy traffic, and reason why, and I just want to give him some credit too, and just hints to how we collaborated in the first place. When we first met, we immediately built a bond on integrity and trust and honesty and respect. Just right off the bat. That was the man-to-man conversation we had right off the bat. Right. And so we said, all right, so this is how we're going to operate and roll out every service for the people that we have. And so we did that. We rolled it out with the intention of making sure that everybody can trust us and we can protect everybody that we encounter. And also, too, what I've heard is from a lot of the people who have come in, our family has come in and nationalized is, they say, first and foremost, I said, listen, when I tried to get with other groups, I paid absorbent amounts of money and I ain't even talked to nobody. I said, they said that with us so far, I've talked to 2 people so far, and y'all actually give us all the information that we possibly need. And we really built that family affair. We really built that community. And I tell them, me and Yasan, we both tell them, listen, you've got the opportunity to get involved in this tribal nation as much as you would possibly like to. As much as you would possibly like to, whatever your dreams are, aspirations, goals, skill sets are. We know you are valuable in one way or the other, or in multiple ways. And we need to come together with just a galvanization of value and do what we know we want to do and do what we know how to do. And so, at this point, we've built, like your son says, we've built a cookout so fast. And I'm talking about everybody's bringing potato salad. Everybody's bringing candy yams. Everybody's bringing meat for the barbecue. Talking about fish, sausages, burgers. I'm saying, just y'all feel me. We have, just like you say all the time, we have everybody that we need. We have everybody that we need. And of course, what they say about quote unquote Black or melanated collectives, and we can't organize and stick together. That is not what's happening over here. That is not what's happening over here. Matter of fact, we actually have, and this is hard to imagine. Imagine we had a little bit too much organization going on. Like, we have to set up a meeting practically every day of the week to to discuss, tackle, handle, and move forward whatever endeavors or aspirations we have. And so what we've built is a platform for people who are of like mind, who know they are Aboriginal to the Americas and the world, to come together and embrace their purpose. That's what's most important. They feel they have purpose over here, and they do. And they do. So I'll land it right there.
So for those people that are listening that hadn't yet looked into the tribal arrangement, how do they get in touch with you guys so that they can start the process of their dual citizenship or their nationality?
Very, very good question. Very good question. So first and foremost, we want you to go to American Indian LLC. Did I say that right, brother Yasan? I want to make sure I said it right.
Correct. Yep. www.americanindianllc.com.
Okay, perfect. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna get you a tribal screening first, right? And it's important. And I tell everybody who I do orientation for, it's important that you get the screening, because it's more or less for us, it's mostly for you, so you can validate your own indigenous lineage. So nobody can tell you who you is and who you ain't. Right? Like for the most part, I can look at you and tell what you are. we know our own people for the most part, right? But you want that verification for you, because Chief Yasun is going to do a genealogy search on your whole family, going back to dolls, rolls, and census records, and identifying your ancestors and your Aboriginal lineage. And so after that, he has very detailed instructions on his webpage. My family, when you go to his page, you got to read. You got to read. And so after you get the tribal screening, he has our links on the page. Then you'll go book an orientation with me to go over the nationality process. Okay. And you'll do about an hour and a half orientation with me. It's going to be in a group setting where you and possibly 2 or 3 other people who are interested in nationality come on. And I'm just going to give you the basics of nationality, what's going to come in the packet, and how you move forward, and pretty much, how we welcome you and bring you into the UAAR tribal government and family.
Hey, there we go. All right, so to those listeners, and a lot of these social networks, they know that time is running out, so they be blocking and oppressing our message, getting it out, man. And so tell people how to hear this message, how to join this collective, because United States government of corporate America, it cannot be fixed. And a lot of our people are still trying, well, we need to go and we got to vote and do this and that. It cannot. It's so corrupted. It is totally corrupted. And you have people that even think that, well, I'm going to do right. But their generational curses are so overwhelming, they can't do right. Anytime they try to do something right, it's going to, that demon's going to pop up and say, but you got to read this contract, the small words at the bottom that says you're beholden to me, and they can't fix this. We have to create our own nation. This is our land. They lied to us, they misled us, and here we are. It's time to come together. And don't worry about them attacking you anymore. Don't worry about it. We have the metaphysical knowledge and technology to protect the tribes that are coming together. And if they dare touch us, they will be evaporated instantly.
It's going to be some smoke in it.
It's going to be some smoke, because it's in the atmosphere. Well, anyway, hey, Brother Mike Glover, you in Chicago and you leaving and headed out. Well, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, bro. I apologize. I was packing up, getting ready to head for Atlanta. I haven't been down there to see my children and grandchildren about a year, and they having a fit. So I'm going down there to visit and stay down there for about a week. But yeah, brother, you're right about that. And I heard you say something about dealing with Russia and going to the Russian embassy. And I'm gonna say, there's some things that we have to do. It don't matter about who don't like it. You know what I'm saying? We got to go to Russian embassy to get them to back us, or the Chinese embassy to get them to back us, or North Korea, whatever it takes, to make this happen. Because like I said, they got Dr. York locked up. He's a chief of the Yamasee. born by blood. And they locked him up when he was claiming the mounds and the territory in Georgia. He put this into the UN with our language, with the original language of the earth. And a lot of people are not aware of that. And so when he did all that, they locked him up. They like, oh no, this nigga gotta go. And nobody's done anything to help him or whatever. And I was in Atlanta. I was a part of Atlanta's Concerned Black Clergy. They was having a fit. They was talking crazy, and I was telling them. All right. I was telling them that, you know, they was having a fit because I was supporting them. And I was telling them, I said, see, that's y'all problem. Y'all concerned about religion. I don't give a damn about no religion. You follow what I'm saying? They did what they did to our people, and y'all ain't saying nothing about it. Something wrong with them. But no, you're right. We have to do what we need to do for our people. You follow me?
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. I have relatives, and they still do this church thing. Bless their hearts, and I know they're holding on to it because they don't see the other option. They don't understand that you got to put the work in to manifest a transition out of the slave system. It ain't just going poof overnight. Even though our organization is moving forward, but I always have to reach back because I love my people, and I reach back to offer them something to take into consideration because it's just they've been beat down psychologically. But so the reason I brought this topic of Enoch, this was one of the books, once again, as we talked about last week, that was left out of the collection of books that the Council of Nicaea organized with this psychological psyops. Is that right, Junior? We call it psyops?
Psyops, yes.
Psyops,
yeah.
of brainwashing, of getting our people caught up in an illusion of praying to an entity that was created by low frequency, negative energy, Luciferian reptilians who enslaved this planet, So, but anyway, in the Book of Enoch, I'm gonna, so I have not read the book in detail, and I have to confess to that. But I've been watching some videos and I've been doing some research online. I do have some verbiage. But I remember in one of the videos, it projected this dark cloud, and it demonstrated how these souls that were compromised are trapped into another dimension, and they're still manipulating this negative energy. And so let me read what some of the research. While the Book of Enoch doesn't focus on single demon black cloud, it describes fallen angels, which are known as watchers, whose corruption brought evil, leading to the monstrous Nephilim and corrupt spirits that trouble humanity, acting like pervasive darkness or evil influence, with some later Christian interpretations linking these fallen spirits to powers of the air or satanic forces that can bring up spiritual oppression, like a dark cloud over one's life. Though Enoch himself emphasizes the source as these angelic beings and their illicit offsprings, not a singular entity. Well, I had an unusual experience. When I returned home to Tampa, I ran into some of my local classmates and things like that. And there was one particular individual I went to high school with, and I was really concerned about what was going on in their lives. And so it forced my spirit to go into a dimension, a non-physical dimension. I can't say whether it was the fourth or the fifth dimension, but I'm going to research that. And it was like my soul was going to try to find out what's going on with this person and what I can do to help them, bring them into the light. Because in Tampa, this is a very corrupt city. The government is, they play games, they gerrymandering, they keep Black representation, Aboriginal representation down to one seat on each panel. It's just straight out hooligan kind of activity. And so what has happened with my local hometown people, they have been manipulated and so corrupted, and once again, I always use this term, they'll tell you, don't hate the player, hate the game. but the game has got them entrapped. So my intent was to go in to find that soul and bring it out. And I ran into this dark cloud. It was huge. And I remember in my vision of this dimension, it was some rolling hills, and it knew that I was there to confront it about this spirit. This dark cloud knocked me on my butt in the spiritual realm. And it says, no, you cannot have this soul. This soul is mine. And, it kind of blew me apart because I thought I was on a high frequency to handle any dark spirit. But when these spirits own you, they have command over you. And until you start the reversal of the negative energy, and it may be painful. These generational curses, when you recognize that I'm doing the wrong crap over and over again, and it's causing the effect on my children and my children's children, when you decide I need to stop this, everything that you acquired using this energy, you got to give it back. And that's hard for a lot of people because they got pride, So, as I go through the Book of Enoch, the book that was intentionally left out with the metaphysical definitions and explanations of reality of the universe, I bring these things up to try to help people navigate out of this brainwashing and this heroin drug that's in our people's mind, So that's my Enoch lesson of the day. Mama Kelly, you got anything on that? You had any experiences like that?
As far as actually being confronted by evil spirits.
Well, either confronted by or the logic of our people continuing to buy into the system and subject.
Yeah. Oh, me. Okay, I wanted to comment on what Brother Mac, when he came in, and he was talking about coming to Atlanta or being a part of the Concerned Black Clergy. Well, those are the last people you need to go to, because that they are honed in on white supremacy. That's their job. They, especially this Concerned Black Clergy, they were here, I think that right after Martin Luther King, was it organized before or after he died? Or he was assassinated. But we can't, those are not the people who are going to help us. They are brainwashed, and they have actually their souls have been bought. You see, the fact that they are accepting that, what is it, the 501, or is it 503?
Faith-based money.
Yeah, that faith-based, taking that money. They have to pledge allegiance to Israel, and I understand that Israel is going to be bringing 10,000 ministers over there to re-indoctrinate them into who they are actually worshiping. Okay, I did actually see that is happening. I saw that they had already brought a number of so-called white preachers with a few of the scattered darkies. I can't call them anything else, because they're certainly not upholding their sophistication, their life, their integrity. In fact, it doesn't exist. when you sign in and you know who you're dealing with and you take the oath and then actually work on their behalf, then hey, that's the end of it. You know, like Andre Sr. just said, hey, that once you sell your soul, it's gone. You can't retrieve it. Now, I do know that there are some people, who are innocent in that they pledge to a organization not knowing exactly what it is. As a matter of fact, most of us, not most, but a lot who went to college innocently, associated with sororities and fraternities. But, you need to know that that is not your salvation. That is your demise. And you really have to let that go in order to find your indigenous status and actually move in that direction. And so there's a whole lot that's going on here. There's one thing that I've been trying to trace down for the last couple of days, and that's the fact that there's rumor that so-called Trump, his cabinet is about to invoke the 25th Amendment, which is to remove him from the office. Well, I haven't been able to verify that. I've been looking for that information. I got one video on it, and there's a whole lot of people who want him gone. Well, okay, there are two Trumps, okay? That is a fact. And the one that's in the White House kissing up to Israel, he's the deep state one. As far as, the so-called real Donald Trump, if there is such a thing, he is stowed away in a deep base in Cheyenne Mountain, so they say. Another thing that I want to address that Mac had talked about, he said that no one has gone forward to try to help Malachi York. Well, that's not true. I know several people personally who have actually worked on behalf of trying to get Malachi York released from prison. And as a matter of fact, one of the chiefs that I know personally, and I've spoken to you about him, uh, uh, he created a torch and presented it. That was maybe about 4 or 5 months. I have a copy of it right here. There have been many movements to try, and people who have tried to get Malachi York released from prison. But of course, we all know that right now, because, well, not just right now, but the fact that we are the custodians, the rightful people to this land, they're not going to let him out just like that. It's going to have to be a super movement, and of course, we're doing well here, but we got a lot to do. We can pull some more people in, some more chiefs who have done that legal work. I certainly hope we can make that move. But one thing that I know that we have to look at is the fact that perhaps our movement won't be as difficult as we think it might be. And of course, a lot of people are scared because that's what religion does. It puts fear into you. And I that's about all I've seen. Because if you look at Christianity, there certainly isn't any integrity, and I mean, morals and all of that. No, that's not demonstrated in the Christian religion, and especially the religion since the Christianity that actually was created through the Nicene Council, Constantine back in 325 AD. That is certainly not a religion of morals and integrity and truth and justice. Not at all. Because this is the religion that they actually promoted in order to actually take over the sovereign lands of the indigenous people all over the world. So there is a movement. We are not alone in this country. There is a movement for all over the world to reclaim their land, our people. Mostly very heavily melanated people all over the world. And so our battle is not as intense as we think, because those who created World War I, World War II, they cannot create World War III because nobody is going to fight them. So they'll be left to their own. They're fighting each other at the top. Whenever the cabinet is against the president and talking about taking that 25th Amendment step, then you know that the battle has ascended to the very top. So that's all I have to say right now.
All right, so that is the piece that, in terms of when you talk about Trump, there's two of them. I do remember catching some news clippings about one of the Trumps give off this putrid odor. And to the point where they have to, I don't know, a lot of this stuff is AIs, a lot of it is made up, where people standing around and they had to put masks on. Well, I do remember an encounter I had, when extraterrestrial beings encounter you, they will paralyze you. I know everybody's had that experience where they were thought they were in their dream state, and they were paralyzed to the point where they couldn't move. Well, I know that at one time, I don't know if I was being examined or worked on, but these entities allowed me to wake up just for a split second as they were exiting my room, but I smelled this strong ammonia odor, and it was like almost like saying to me, we just want to let you leave this little calling card and let you know we're here. So in this universe, all things are possible. And I believe Mama Kelly when she says two of them, because it's some real craziness going on here. But Mama Kelly, you don't think that I think we were examining the fact that J.D. Vance was the one that was going to initiate that article. Was it Article 25?
Well, that is what the information that I got from this one he was an elderly man who looked like he was probably retired from one of these career bureaucrats, and he put that out. But I have also been looking. I mean, you have to take a look at there's so much intertwined um, um, fuckery going on at the very top. I can't call it anything else but fuckery.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's this attack from one side to the other. Senators have told the army people to fight again, to ignore the directives of the so-called chief of staff, or no, not chief. What is he? He's the head of the army. And some of the senators have actually stood up and said, ignore the directives from the army chief. There's a name for the army chief. I can't think of it right now. And one of the people, the person that I saw that they put in front was Jeffries. That what's his name? Hakeem Jeffries.
Right.
Yeah, he was the one leading back. And so I said, why would they choose him to stand in front of the world and say, ignore the directives of the head of the army?
Yeah.
The commander in chief, that's the word I was trying to. Why would they always take one of us to put us in front of the camera to say, okay, we're working like this. I'm the one who's, I'm the spokesperson for doing this. So Hakeem Jeffries just stood up and said, hey, we're going to get rid of you. And then there's all this stuff. J.D. Vance, there's a whole lot of rumors about him too, and what his next step is. I'm hearing that his wife is not a Christian and will not go forward as a Christian. So that makes J.D. Vance, there's, hey, and to move a so-called Christian nation, and she's a Hindu, so there's all this mess going, and it's very messy. They are battling, calling each other names, undermining, all kinds of rumors of assassination. And in fact, some of this stuff, it's really, really, suspicious. In fact, that guy who killed those people up there at Brown University, they found him dead.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not laughing at the fact that he was dead, but another patsy put out there to create this chaos and keep people on edge and afraid so that they can continue to clamp down on free speech.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is where this is headed. There's a whole lot that could be said, but since it's rumor and innuendo, I don't want to dive into it too heavy. We don't know, but they are fighting each other at the top. So we don't have to worry too much, because nobody is going to fight them. And every world war has been a white man's battle. But they brought everybody in and put uniforms on it to fight their battle.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this is what we're faced with.
Yeah. So Chairman, I see Chairman on me. Hey, how you doing this morning, Chairman?
So getting frustrated with this computer. They kind of blocked me out again. Trying everything,
So Three-Eye Atlas.
Yeah.
Three-Eye Atlas is at its closest point today.
As they say.
What's going on with it?
Oh, they got an infighting at the top, you know, like they're telling you that it's slowing down, that it might go right instead of left so it can get closer to planet Earth. They know it's making moves, but it's not making that type of move where it's showing signs that it's headed towards Earth. It's more so at this point heading towards Jupiter, you know. But with all these anomalies, that's proven that it's not a natural object, you know. It's artificial because it's changing colors. It's changed about three different colors now, you know, and the speed is increasing, decreasing, you know, and with that coma that's surrounding it, it's causing a lot of astronomers frustration because it can't peer through it and see exactly what this object really looks like. Now, I do believe in my heart that NASA knows with the Webb telescope that they can see, but they don't want to disclose that type of information to us. They want to control us. You know how that is. If they can control you, they feed you junk and they don't want you thinking out the box because you might make the right contact where you can communicate mental telepathy to those extraterrestrials that are dealing with the three-eye atlas. And that's some real stuff. And like you had mentioned earlier about being paralyzed, I went through that myself one time. I was installing some machines up in northern part of Michigan, and at the evening, I was in my room, lying on the couch, and all of a sudden, I got paralyzed. Like somebody had just came into the room. I couldn't move, I couldn't holler, I couldn't do anything, and it freaked me out. And then all of a sudden, it went away. And I just, to this day, I'm still puzzled. But when I hear other people talk about it, it just gives me relief. It just wasn't my figment of my imagination, But like with this three-eye atlas, it's just it's getting frustrated, because we know even if it's not a spaceship, there are spaceships. We have been contacted before. That's how we got to planet Earth, going way, way, way back. But now they're coming back, you know, just like even in some biblical senses about a return. I'm not trying to relate the Bible involved in this here, but it is them coming to redeem their children, and we are that children, and they know what we're going through. Like I said before, they can cloak themselves because they do it now with the government cloaking. But can you imagine how advanced Three-Eye Atlas, is advanced and what they can do? And they're already saying that we're surrounded by extraterrestrial vehicles, but they're cloaked, you know. But all evidence is leading to a real good disclosure is coming up. It's just something that can't be avoided because too many people are realizing and recognizing that, it's real, you know. You can't hide it anymore, and the Three-Eye Atlas, I say our brothers and sisters that are operating those vehicles, you know, they're here to bring us salvation. That we're going to be saved. We done suffered enough. Like if we alone come together, the majority of us are good people. We could make this change and cause the extraterrestrials that have been to this planet and that are here on this planet make some moves to make things right. But it's not being done because we haven't come together yet. You know?
Absolutely.
So I'll land that spaceship, but I'm I'm looking forward to more information. Stop being so discreet. Keeping things a secret. Open it up. Let everybody know because it's good for us all. It's advancement. You know.
Well, we're going to go through the ranks because everybody here on this panel is picking up different frequencies and an interpretation. Hey, Mike, I know you're on the road. You're on mute. Can you give us a little insight on what frequency you're picking up from Three-Eye, if any at all? Okay.
All right, man.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay. Basically, I'm gonna get back to the Book of Enoch for a second.
Go ahead.
They had to remove the Book of Enoch for a reason. They had to remove the Book of Enoch because Enoch again was a brother, the first brother born that was literally taken into our people a ship and taken to our people's galaxy. They had to remove that because that would connect us and we would know that our people exist in another galaxy.
Right.
This last thing they want niggas to know is about thinking about a black civilization outside of Earth. They're never ever going to discuss this. They're never going to admit it. That's why they had to take the Book of Enoch out and color everybody white. But they had to take that out. That was important. Jesus. Jesus' original Lord's Prayer said, Our Father who art in Orion. They had to change that because that was another something that would have us knowing that there's a indigenous civilization outside of Earth. They're never ever going to release that kind of information. We have to be the ones to connect the dots. Now, then after that, now here we go. Jesus said, I'm gonna send you Elijah. This is what Jesus said. But because we don't know that we the people of the prophecies, when Elijah Muhammad came, we didn't have a clue. That was talking about Elijah Muhammad. Period. Why? Because Elijah Muhammad is the one that came forth and said, who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, but the owner, owner, maker of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe. He took us back to our people being out in the universe. You follow what I'm saying? He's the first one to say, well, when y'all get through talking, the mother plane is out there in orbit. And they're there for a reason. The pastors didn't accept what he was saying, so he explained to them. In your book, The Revelation, John said, when you see these things happening, John, that's when John said, that's when I saw the holy city coming down. He said, that's what John was talking about. He said, and I'm telling you, it's not coming down. It's out there now. You follow me? He said, and there are people on it that look like us. That's what he said. He said, there will come a man that will be coming from there that's going to renew our history. And once our history is renewed, they are up under divine judgment. But the judgment will not and cannot take place until our history is renewed. Here come Dr. York with the information that Elijah told us to look for. Farrakhan must have got a phone call because they refused to give this information to our people. That's a fact. Dr. York. Dr. York wrote a book called Let's Set the Record Straight. Dr. York is the bloodline descendant of Prophet Muhammad. Dr. York is the bloodline descendant of Old York, who was the scout, the Morris scout that took the expedition, Lewis Clark expedition. He's the one that took them out west. He was the communicator with the indigenous tribes. Dr. York is a direct descendant of Old York. Old York is the one who was the scout. Dr. York, they don't have a clue who Dr. York is. But as he said, when he's released, the world will know who he is. This AI Atlas, all this is surrounding Dr. York's incarceration. If they don't let Dr. York out, his people gonna just come and get him. And they'll open up them doors and he'll be gone. And they'll be like, oh my God. You follow what I'm saying? This ain't no joke. Now I want to say this. That's not Dr. York in prison. See, people don't know who this man is. That's a clone that's sitting in prison. There's no way in the world a man like him would be, and they will allow these demons to put their hands on this man. They don't have permission, just like they didn't have permission to put their hands on Job. They can destroy everything around Job, but they could not put their hands on Job. I said this 20 years ago when he went to jail. I told the concerned clergy, because they was talking shit. I said, I tell y'all what, I bet my life that they don't kill him. They killed everybody else. They didn't kill Elijah. And they ain't gonna kill Malachi. They didn't have permission to put their hands on it. The man has been taken back up to the mothership. You ain't gotta believe what I'm saying. This man is chilling on that mother plane. That's a clone in that prison. But he cannot come forth back into the public until that clone is released. And when I said that nobody has done anything to release him, I wasn't talking about the indigenous community. I was talking about pastors, politicians, etc. These boule niggas. That's what I was talking about. You follow what I'm saying? So this is what that's three. So this is third eye. That was 3 eye. It stands for the third eye. Third eye is opening to all our people. Our people, there's an awakening taking place. You follow what I'm saying? These people are coming here. Our people are coming here. And what they're gonna do, because there is what you call protocol. There's something that is like you cannot go and visit China and get into the politics of China. You can't go over and get into their politics coming from here. We can get into politics over here. And there's rules of engagement. Our people cannot come here and assist us if we are allowing these people to be our gods. They are going to do a simulation. They're going to do a simulation of and use damn, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to do a simulation where it's going to look like aircraft in the air, but it's not going to be real aircraft.
Yeah.
And they're going to scare the people. Try to scare the people. Oh, we need y'all to protect us. Oh, we need y'all to protect. We don't have a clue. I told somebody, I said, let me tell you something. If we saw aircraft coming for real, I'll be out in the street while everybody freaking out and running around like, oh my God, what's going on? Because they're not aware. I'll be the one in the street like, yes, thank you. Come and get their ass, do something with them. Because I know what's going on.
Absolutely.
I don't think, I don't believe, I know that they're coming. And just like one of the things that John said, when you see these things happening, John, that's when I saw the holy city coming down. He said when they start, that 666, when they start putting these chips in people where you can't buy or sell, just like the indoor tanning salons is part of that, one of the things that John saw coming. People not even aware of that. The indoor tanning salons. The indoor tanning salons came about because in the book of Revelation, John saw, and he said, the sun is going to get, it said the sun is going to be given power to burn them up, to scorch them. When this took place, they could no longer be under the sun because the sun was burning them up, scorching them, giving them 3 forms of cancer. So they had to do indoor tanning salons. Those indoor tanning salons that we see around everywhere, that's a direct result of the prophecy in Revelation that the sun is going to scorch them, to burn them up and scorch them. Our people not even aware of that. That's a direct result from the prophecies that John saw happening in the future. So these things that John saw, just like it says in Revelation, it says, and the dragon gave power to the beast. I was arguing with pastors, say, you niggas need to jump on what Dr. York has been sent here to give us, man, because he's explaining all these things. Y'all now don't have a clue what's going on. What does that mean? The dragon gave power to the beast. The dragon that John saw, who represents the dragon? The Chinese.
Yes.
Who is the beast? The white folks. John saw that the dragon introduced the beast to gunpowder, and they took that gunpowder and created weapons. That's how they're ruling to this day.
Yes.
And when they introduced the beast to gunpowder, they were like, oh my God, we done introduced the wrong people to gunpowder. And that's when they built that 3,000-mile the Great Wall of China. You think they built that wall for nothing? They built that damn wall for a reason, to try to keep the beast out. You
Keep the
follow what I'm
beast
saying?
out. Right.
And that's exactly why they built that. And they built it after they introduced the beast to gunpowder, which is how the dragon gave power to the beast. That's a fact. So Dr. York is the one who been breaking all this down for us, and nobody have a clue what this man's talking about, because they talking about he did this and he did that. I told nigga, man, I don't give a damn what he did. I don't give a damn what they say. I'm reading that information because that's what it's about. It's not about the man. I've been saying this forever. Nation of Islam is on some bullshit because I asked them personally. I know Ishmael. Ishmael is Elijah's son, the second in command. He's the one that's going to be he's the associate pastor that's going to take over when Farrakhan stepped down. I've been hitting Ishmael. Ishmael, come on, bro. What's wrong with y'all? I even told him, y'all must have got a phone call, bro. Y'all had to got a phone call, because for y'all to just intentionally mislead our people, to intentionally not give our people the information that your daddy told y'all to look for, you niggas got to be out of your fucking mind. You follow what I'm saying? And I've been hitting with this for real. I'm thinking that he's giving Farrakhan his props while Farrakhan is in power, but we'll see. Like I told Ishmael, I asked him, I said, why don't y'all start selling these books? Y'all done start selling Scientology books. You niggas gotta be crazy. Y'all selling L. Ron Hubbard. Y'all selling L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology books and having classes and shit, and you won't sell Dr. York's books?
Mm.
And then I told him, I said, I tell you what, let us come. First, I told him, I said, let us come sell them. He didn't respond. I said, okay, well, then y'all start selling. He didn't respond. Then I told the nigga, I said, I tell you what, let us set up a table and give these books away. You know, them niggas still wouldn't let us do it. Now, that lets you know these niggas is on some way out stuff. You follow what I'm saying? Like I told, and then I told, I said, okay, you got it. Y'all got a phone call. Y'all was ordered. Do not lead them people to Dr. York's information. Y'all cannot, and they will not. Now, if Ishmael got the nerve to do it, I say, Ishmael, see, that's why we need real niggas, man. That's why they don't want no street niggas in politics. I explain that in my book. I said, you know why they don't want no street niggas in politics? Larry Hoover, they called him the leader, the gangster disciples and whatnot. Look, we was all gangster disciples. We was kids coming up. My brother was vice lords and L. Rookins. But the point is, them gangs got started because of what the white boys was doing. They was shooting at us and wouldn't nobody do nothing about it. That's how the gangs got formed, protecting the community until they dropped the drugs and the guns. And so when Larry went from gangster disciple to growth and development, and they started Century 21 vote, oh, they shut that down so quick, bro. They had to, because they don't want street niggas into politics, because, see, we'll disrupt everything that they're doing. Give you an example. They had a $1.5 billion budget here in Chicago. Them white folks had the nerve to go to these boule. These is boule niggas. Their job, these the crabs in the barrel. That when we trying to get out, they pulling us back down.
Right.
These white folks had the nerve to go to 19 indigenous aldermen and alder women and tell them, not ask them, tell them, all right, we're going to take the $1.5 billion budget. This is how we going to do it. We're going to get 60 white companies to distribute the money. Now, these ain't street people. If they had 19 street niggas in there, ain't no way they'd have bought that to us. No way, because we ain't the kind of niggas you just take things from. No, y'all ain't going to take that money nowhere. That would have been a whole different conversation. See, we'll disrupt everything. They can no longer take the money and do what they want. Because I'm that type of person. Ain't no way in the world you can bring that to me. I'd be like, no, you're not taking no money out of my community. The money that's supposed to go to us is going to us. And it would have been a fight on the Congress floor. Alderman Glover hits Alderman such in the mouth. They said, why you do it? Because that nigga's crazy. I told that white boy he ain't just taking that money out of my community. That's why they don't want street niggas in politics. Because as long as they got these boule soft niggas in politics, they can just take the money and do what they want to do. And that's what's been going on. That's why we ain't getting nothing done. Because these politicians don't have the backbone. And I ain't knocking my brothers and sisters. They don't have what it takes to deal with these people. We have what it takes to deal with them. I've been a contractor. I ain't punched a clock since I've been out of prison in '81. I went to prison for robbing white businesses. Why? Because I don't know, I just had attitude as a kid. But the point is, I've been a contractor. I've been a contractor and a collector. And when I collected, I got scores of young brothers that we trained in this business, getting them out of gangs, getting them out for the dope game and all kind of stuff. So we have a good record with people in the street. And so what I'm saying is that they don't have what it takes to stand up. They don't have confrontational spirits. That's the best way to put it. Street people have confrontational spirits.
Absolutely.
The people in politics, they do not have confrontational spirits to deal with these people when it's time to step on the gas. When it's time to step up, they don't have what it takes. I'm going to give you an example. What I mean by that. I was in a couple of times I had to use this. A contractor said, Mac, I'm going to pay you when I get it, when I get the check. No, you're not going to pay me when you get the check. You're going to pay me now because I got people to pay. And these are not the people that you just play with their money. And so he was telling me, well, I'm going to pay you. Boy, he was just talking crazy to me. I said, hold it, man. I said, let me tell you what you need to do. I need you to call the Chicago Police Department. And he said, for what? I said, I want you to call them and give them this name, give them my birthday and my social security number. I said, and tell them to fax you over the profile of this guy. And when you read my background, think about if you want to talk to me like that again. He said, no, Mac, I didn't mean it like that. I said, yeah, you already said you're going to pay me when you feel like it. I said, now me and my brother on our way to your house to get our money. You better have it when we get there. And I don't want a check. I want cash. He said, no, meet me at the gas station. You see what I'm saying? That's that confrontational spirit that I'm talking about that our politicians do not have to turn it on when you need to turn it on. I have a confrontational spirit and I will turn it on when I have to. And especially when it comes to collecting our people's money. I have no problem turning on the confrontational spirit. So this is what I mean. So anyway, we are the people of the prophecies, people of the scripture. We need to know, we need to shout out. And there's a brother named Young Elder. Young Elder is another brother that's here now. That a lot of people don't know who Young Elder is. You need to look up Young Elder TV on YouTube and digest all this stuff because he's telling you what's going on out in orbit. He's a student of Dr. York as well. So there are other people born. The Empress Vertice of the Washita Nation wrote a book. I advise everybody to read it because they don't know what's going on. The Return of the
Ancient One.
The
Return of the Ancient One.
That's right.
All right. Well, Mike, okay.
Yeah.
Say something for next week, Mike. Chief, your son, what are you picking up from this frequency with AI?
Oh man, so I've been picking up a frequency of protection, right? And that confrontational spirit that Elder McLever was talking about, it was that type of spirit. Like, now we here, we coming in numbers, and I hear a saying, one of us is 100 men, and I think about that viral meme that was going around, like, can 100 men take on one gorilla? So that's the type of support we dealing with, the type of numbers they coming with. And we may not see it physically right now when we look outside, but that's for purpose. And on those military bases, when you see them randomly firing and stuff, that's the type of support we talking about, Yes, sir.
All right. Well, and as I passed the torch on to Andre Jr. and his receptors from the frequency and to close out the show, all I got to say to my sisters, I'm always concerned about my sisters because you've been traumatized, you've been left alone for 400 years, and this collective of men, you can see we ain't playing, we ain't backing down, we serious about this. So you need to get with our program. Stop taking, they're gonna put some, if you come and get involved with our program, they're gonna put some weak brothers on you. They're gonna offer you a job. If you got children in prison, they're gonna threaten you. They'll play all these games. But if you come to us and let us know what you're up against, we as a collective, we're gonna shut them down. So get with UAARnation.org. Well, go ahead, Junior. Tell us about your frequency and close us out, man.
Hey, you know what? As we were talking about it earlier, it kind of just dawned on me that I've this 3-eye atlas encroachment has been making me feel like I'm doing 2-a-days in football practice back when I was a little younger. I literally have been experiencing, minor aches and pains here. Like I've been working out, but I ain't been working out nothing but my mind recently, right? And what I mean by that is, not only utilizing what I already do know to the max to continue to build, our nation, but also to exercising, brain muscle to create and innovate new things going forward for us, right? I mean, we do look a lot to the past to, to figure out where we were so we can figure out where we're going. And we doing pretty good on that. I like where we're going with that. But also too, I want us to realize that we're gonna be blazing some new trails too. We've got a whole new frontier of the unknown we about to tap into that we've got the power to manifest as we see it, as we want it to be. That's the main thing. And so, I've been working through, my own, let's say good stresses. In other words, that's the only type of stresses I got right now. Good stress, the stress of, working out. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. I live this life every single day. It's not a fad or a trend to me. It's like, this is the only thing that's left and for my duration on this planet. You feel me? But all in all, it's like, we love it. We love it. I ain't gonna just say we love it. And I tell everybody, I say, listen, family, what we building right now, the children, the later generations gonna see the real fruits of the labor, but we're gonna have a whole lot of fun building the foundation. A whole lot of fun building the foundation. So like you would usually say, Pops, y'all got all our links. We put them in the chat. We shout them out every Saturday. Come get with us if you want to ascend. Let me just say it straight like that. Because otherwise, these parasites, the only thing they have left is desperation to drag you into perdition with them. That's it. Everything they building is to drag you into perdition, into hell with them, or whatever that is to you. Okay. So anyway, it's been a great show. I appreciate all of the elders and all of y'all's wisdom. I think we need to keep it going straight like this. And yeah, but it's been the Straight Talk Network show. We love y'all as always. Peace and love. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Conversation, peace.
Peace.